welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Typography Basics. Today we are going to be talking about manipulating typography and kind of the three main ways that you can manipulate text or a word or a sentence, and go over how those three things work, how you achieve them, and we'll go from there. So like I said, there are kind of three main ways that you can manipulate text. Firstly, we are going to talk about kerning. Kerning means adjusting the space between individual letters within a word. This is mostly used for singular words in like a logo or a heading, or headings that are going to be quite big. You don't really adjust the kerning in like body copy because that would take you hours and hours and hours, but anything that's going to be viewed at a large scale you want to kern. Majority of typefaces, especially if they're not great, will need some kerning adjustment because the spacing in between letters should read quite evenly. It shouldn't jump out at you that letters are touching or they're too close together or letters are too far apart. Everything should be quite consistent and not distract you from the word itself. There are a lot of examples, I'll try and maybe pop some up here, of bad kerning where it creates some problems, because if you put a C and an L too close together, it might look like a D, or kind of things like that that might make click look like dick or things like that. So you kind of want to be really careful with your kerning, especially in, like I said, logos, big signs, billboards, large posters, anything like that, because you want to avoid making these mistakes. It will also, if you get the kerning right, just make the word feel really natural to read, and like I said, not distract from the word itself. You don't want a big glaring gap that's going to be attracting all the focus when the focus should be on what the word is, what your brand is, for example. Next is tracking. So tracking adjusts the spacing evenly across the whole word. So you have a word like this, and this has got quite tight tracking, and then as you track out the whole word or the whole sentence, everything kind of evenly spaces out across the word or the sentence. This is really helpful because if you're doing anything in all caps quite often looks better with more space in between, especially if you've got like a thick font, or if you've got a heavy font that kind of requires a bit more average space across everything. So tracking helps you to do that. Also, some fonts will just seem like everything is too cramped together, so adding a bit of tracking will help to kind of make it more comfortable and easier to read. Leading is a really important one, and that is the space between lines in a body of text. So if you have any type of paragraph or anything that has multiple lines of text, you have to really pay attention to the leading. If you have too tight a leading, it gets really cramped and like you have to squint to read. But if your leading is too loose, then it gets hard to read because people get lost with the gaps in between, and it is all just too spread out to kind of keep track as you read. So you want to create leading that is comfortable but not too spread out, because you don't want to lose people as they're reading. A general rule of thumb with both like kerning, tracking and leading is don't ever just accept what the computer gives you, because the computer tries to give you the default, but that's not always right, and 90% of the time it's not going to be right. So you want to be really particular about the leading, the tracking and the kerning to create the perfect set of type. So this is a short video for this week, but I really just wanted to cover those three things because they're the basics really of manipulating type, and as soon as you've got those basics down, you'll be able to move on to the next thing. So please do give it a go, play around with this in Adobe InDesign. Okay, so I know that those are kind of quick and brief, but they are really important and really great basics to get a hold of. So please do give it a go. If you have any questions about tracking, leading, kerning, any of that, please leave them in the comments below and I'll try and answer them. I'll also link some games that help you with these. There's a kerning game which is like amazing, and I've played it on this channel before, so you can also go and watch that video. But yeah, that'll help you kind of get a hold of what kerning is and that sort of thing. So please check that out in the description. Have a go, leave me any questions you have, and look forward to the next typography basics video. As always, I hope that you are being creative and productive, and I'll see you all next week with another video. Bye.